How you doing, Dharma Seekers? I there's this YouTube channel by Mike Hubbard, and it's Gematria Channel, and he always begins every broadcast saying "Hello, Truth Seekers." So I'm thinking maybe with mine I'm going to do "Hello, Dharma Seekers" for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at Prince Philip's chart. Basically, what we're going to do today is we're going to analyze, what kind of planets are involved and house lords are involved when someone passes away. And this is a very weird time for you guys, honestly. I just recently left a job working for a company that I had been working for 16 years. And so it's kind of a very surreal day for me. And I think if I'm acting at all a little spaced out during this one, please forgive me because it's kind of weird. So anyways, we're going to look at Prince Philip's chart, and we're going to analyze what the death houses are and the planets that indicated him passing away. So with my type of astrology, we look at, not only are we looking at the astrology chart, but we're also kind of looking at this overall plan that we all have in our lives. When we decide to incarnate on the planet, usually there's a soul plan. You have soul contracts, and with different experiences that you're supposed to have when you incarnate on this planet. And so when I think of when certain planets and house lords are activated in chart where you have permission to exit, I don't see it as, it's hard to make a prediction where you're going to be able to say someone is going to for sure be able to pass away. So a lot of astrologers, they say they don't make any kind of death prediction because it's very difficult to make any kind of death prediction. So what I've come to know is that you can make a permission to exit type prediction. And we're going to look at Prince Philip's chart to fully look into that. Let's take a look at Prince Philip's chart here. And you see, we're not going to do a whole chart analysis today, but what we are going to do is we're going to look at, okay, what kind of house lords would be in planetary placements would be involved with him passing away recently. And at first I was wondering, because, astrology is not perfect. Sometimes we don't have explanations for random events. But in this case, again, astrology prevailed. We can see what's going on. So in Prince Philip's chart, we're going to want to look at, especially when we're looking at things like passing away, we're going to be looking at the second house here, number 2, and we're going to be looking at the 7th house here, and we're going to write 7 there. Okay, those are the 2 houses that typically are with death. The second house is a death house because it's kind of like saturation point. So your incarnation has reached a certain saturation point where you've learned as much as you're going to learn, and it's time to move on. So that's why second house is used as a death house. And then if we look again, 7th house there. The 7th house is indicative of someone passing away, and I think of it as 7th house is contracts. So it's like the final contract of your life is over, kind of like a soul contract, so to speak. So if we take a look here, so if we're looking at Prince Philip's chart here, we're going to know, okay, what's the Lord of Capricorn there? And we're going to see the Lord of Capricorn is Saturn right here. And then we're going to say, what's the Lord of the 7th house? Well, the Lord of the 7th house is going to be Mercury right there. So Saturn and Mercury are primarily going to be the houses that are death houses in Prince Philip's chart. Actually, for any Sagittarius. It's not just Prince Philip. We're looking at Sagittarius. Permission to exit here. So, next thing we want to look at, and we're going to pull up another chart for you guys. Let's look at his Doshas. Let's look at what he was in recently. And we can see right now, if we look at his Doshas, since December 17th, 2020, Prince Philip was in Saturn Rahu. And then currently it's being April 13th, 2021. So we know he's still in Saturn Rahu right now. This whole time period right here. And so what's interesting to note is this Saturn period. I mean, you don't even have to think of it. Even though Saturn is the second house lord in Prince Philip's chart, we can think of Saturn as, I mean, Saturn rules old age. It rules stiffness, brittleness. It rules all those kinds of things. So it's just kind of very symbolic that Prince Philip is in this Saturn Mahadasha. In this last part of his life, he's very old. He looks very old. There's no denying that. So right now, we knew that he was already old. And that's one of the things about when these death house lords are activated. The second and seventh house lords are activated many, many times during our life for everyone's chart. So generally, as an astrologer, we're not going to predict death if somebody is really healthy, they're really okay, they're pretty young, there's nothing in their life indicating there's going to be some sort of death. Okay, so you can generally assume that even if they're in the time of the second lord or the seventh lord, they'll probably survive. But in Prince Philip's case, I think he was 99 years old. And then obviously he's in the Saturn time where it's the second lord and he passes away. The other thing that I found interesting, actually, let me switch that for you guys. Let's see. There we go. Let's go back to that chart. The other thing I find very interesting is he's in this sub-period of Rahu right here. So Rahu right here. Sorry for the pause there, guys. And, I wouldn't think much. Like, I don't think Rahu's like some like death-inflicting type planet in most cases. But I was interested to know, like, who's Rahu's lord. And if we look at Rahu, acts a lot like its lord. And so Rahu is in Libra right here. So we can know Rahu's lord is Venus over here. And one of the things I find interesting is Venus, it rules the 6th house here. It rules the 11th house here. I mean, 6th house could represent disease and things like that. So definitely he probably was old and he had, some things going on. But what I found interesting was a planet is always influenced by the planet it's associated with. And look who he's with. Who's Venus's buddy over there? It's K2. So K2 being involved there is a lot of times K2 represents endings. Like there's something in your karmic script that's about to be over. So Rahu's being influenced by Venus, who's associated with K2, and K2 represents endings and the ending of karma. So I find that very interesting that, that was kind of involved in this whole thing with Prince Philip passing away. And it's just interesting that astrology, almost every time you look at it, on a majority of people's charts, you see it's that second or seventh lord that ends up being the death-inflicting planet. So it's pretty crazy. Did you guys have any questions in the chat? This was kind of like a shorter video today, more about, why Prince Philip passed away. That's what I was using this video as. So it was definitely meant to be. Yes, I would say that Prince Philip's passing was definitely meant to be. he definitely, it was intended in his karmic script that he pass away at this moment of time. But, he lived 99 years. So, I mean, it was expected. But then when I opened up the chart and I was like, wow, he was in a period of the second Lord. That's pretty like, again, another confirmation of Vedic astrology, how it works when you're in those periods of your life. Thank you guys who joined the chat. Thank you for being here today. If there's any more questions, guys, let me know, because this was kind of just a short video that I was doing today. Otherwise, I wasn't going to do a full analysis of Prince Philip's chart today. And hopefully in the next... I don't think I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow, but on Thursday we are going to do another live stream. And we're going to do the full chart reading, and I'm going to post that as soon as I can. You guys, if you guys are interested in a personal chart reading, please email me. The information is down below. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel if you guys enjoy this content. I see there's a question here. Since you said that with old people, a death is more predictable, what about transits for a younger person? For a younger person, I would usually think like something sudden happens. Like if it's just random, like say if it's like somebody dies in a car accident or something like that. I tend to think it would be a period of like the 8th Lord or the 6th Lord, or a period of Mars or something. Like if a young person joined the military and say they went to some war somewhere, and it was a period of Mars, and it was a period of, where that could happen. But then again, it could be in a period of the 2nd and 7th Lord at, either the Bhukti or the Mahadasha. That's what I see it doing. Yeah, so I think an accident's going to be like 8th house, something very sudden. And we'd have to check that out. Actually, I could probably look at more charts on that. That would be a great video to talk about. A terminal illness, I think, is going to be more like, it could be 6th Lord, K2 involved, but 2nd, 7th Lord involved. There's so many different combinations to these things. It's amazing. Not amazing that but we all pass away, guys. We're all mortal. We all have physical bodies. We all have a very temporary time here on this planet. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for coming and watching. Please subscribe, like to my channel, and thank you so much for being here.